Protests are a fundamental right for people to come together with others and peacefully express their views. Authorities must allow us to take part in marches, protests and demonstrations because everyone has the right to associate with others and gather together for a common purpose. Article 11 of the Human Rights Act is fundamental to keeping us free. It lets us protest peacefully, join trade unions and hold the powerful to account. However, it seems that the people's right to hold those in power to account is being targeted, as Priti Patel is now setting her sights on preventing us from protesting the organisations that do the most damage. Organisations that she calls the foundations of our democracy, such as Parliament, newspapers and the courts. However, I always thought the foundations of democracy was a system of government by the whole population. Well, it seems that some people want to now remove the part where the whole population are involved in democracy, leaving themselves able to run riot and do just what the hell they like, without anyone being able to question them. Patel is planning to give the police new powers next year to prevent protests that target these organisations, and is said to be bringing forward new laws which will better protect Parliament, newspapers and the courts from demonstrations. To let you know that you can all thank Extinction Rebellion for this move, or at least that's what's being reported in mainstream media due to the chaos caused during more recent protests. However, there are and were already legislation in place for the police to deal with those breaking laws whilst protesting. So this seems to me like a simple excuse to rewrite the entire legislation around it to protect the government, courts and newspapers from what's to come. Patel said the Extinction Rebellion protests, where they blocked several national newspaper printing presses, delayed distribution of the mainstream propaganda, and said that their actions were an attack on democracy. But yet the government trying to prevent themselves being held accountable isn't an attack on democracy? What a hypocritical cut. It is thought the new laws could see limits imposed on where protests are allowed to take place. And no doubt with the deadly COVID in circulation, the two people protests will be cemented in law permanently as well. A government source allegedly told the Telegraph newspaper it is not about banning protests, it is ensuring that people can protest in a free and fair way without stopping people from going about their lives or blocking democratic functions, which again is already covered under existing legislations. So just like the COVID legislation and the pre-existing civil contingencies legislation, there was no need to create the COVID one, as the civil contingencies legislation was already there to be used, but meant the government weren't able to add their additional rights eroding clauses for use to abuse the public further. There have previously been calls to reinstate laws which require 7 days notice to hold a protest in Parliament Square. That would allow the police to impose conditions on protests, for example, stating that roads must not be blocked. But yet again, there are already laws about causing an obstruction, preventing people from going about their lawful work, and there are public order legislations that could be used too. But I guess the penalties aren't severe enough, and the police want to be able to punish people more harshly in order to curb anyone questioning them over their behaviour. Minister for the Cabinet Office, Michael Gove, told LBC Radio, "I do think it's important that the police get the powers they need in order to maintain public order and the free flow of commerce. I'll tell you this, there is no better defender of our police and law and order than Priti Patel." Well, Mr Gove, I'll tell you this, there is no better defender of the police and law and order to gain more control over the population while allowing people like you and your cronies to get away with pretty much anything you want than the traitor Priti Patel. No wonder the government wanted to disarm the population. Very big thank you to channel supporters, especially these guys. Your support is truly appreciated. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, as I know many of you will. And until next time, stay safe, look after each other, film the police and other officials.